Good evening, folks. A lot of you may have seen a very significant nor'easter chance being posted all over the internet yesterday, and I kind of want to quell some of your fears because the trend that we've seen over the day today has been pushing this farther out to sea, and I want to explain why we're seeing this, why it could still change, and what meteorologists are looking at. So, this is a meteorological breakdown of our current pattern and what we're going to be seeing over the next 6 days here as we go throughout the last full week of January. I'm student meteorologist Filippo Formica, a third-year student at Penn State. I use probabilistic forecasting to quell a lot of your fears and dispel a lot of the outliers that you see getting posted all over the internet for engagement bait purposes. So let's start off here with our satellite imagery. This is our infrared satellite across the continental United States right now, showing a system moving into the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be bringing in some moisture there that they really need. And this is actually going to be a main factor, and we'll talk about that in just a second with this round and round of moisture in areas of the Pacific Northwest. We have a weak disturbance across areas of the southern Mississippi River Valley. We have a weak clipper system moving out across the Northeast that may have given you a few flakes today. I know a lot of people are a little disgusted by the flakes, but we saw a few here in State College, Pennsylvania today. And we have even some moisture starting to stream in from Canada. And let's kind of take a look at our current setup across the United States. This is at the airline level, right? This is the cruising altitude level. This is our jet stream here, and you can see a long wave trough, and that's been really digging in the cold, that Arctic chill that we've been seeing across the eastern United States. That's been trapping that in place, and we have a shorter trough here, a more of a short wave trough into areas of the Pacific Northwest, and that's why they're seeing that enhanced storminess there. So what are we looking at in terms of about midway through the atmosphere? So not quite airplane height, but not quite the surface either. And this is our vorticities. This is the area of relative spin in the atmosphere. And we see that short wave trough, as we call them in the meteorological realm, moving through the Northeast. That was the main cause of that clipper system. A subtle short wave here across areas of the northern plains in Minnesota there, another subtle short wave across areas of the southern plains, and that could be part of the reason, that little short wave there, why we have some mid and upper level clouds across areas of the southern Mississippi River Valley and the southern plains throughout the day today, but not strong enough to produce enough upward motion to actually produce any precipitation out of that. And we have a short wave trough alongside that slightly longer wave trough at the upper levels, kind of enhancing the precipitation along the western coast of the United States. So here is our 6-panel viewer from the Penn State map wall, and this is the European model. So here is the northern branch of the jet stream here. This is our polar jet stream, and here's the subtropical jet stream. And the reason why we had this very intense snowstorm from basically Oklahoma all the way to Maine the last few days was because we saw a coupling of these two jet streams. When these two jet streams team up, they like to produce very strong storms and kind of layman's terms here. So that's what we're kind of looking for right now. And this trough moving into the western United States is going to play a role here in kind of developing a short wave that we're going to be tracking throughout the week. And that's going to be kind of enhancing our southern branch of the jet stream. So that's going to enhance the southern branch of the jet stream. Now we need the northern branch to get involved in order to have a sustained nor'easter and a bomb cyclone, as people are starting to throw around, which is the drop in central pressure of a storm by 24 millibars in 24 hours or less. But right now, this northern branch of the jet stream kind of minding its own business. This is now going into the evening Thursday and into the day on Friday, still disconnected, these two branches of the jet stream. And the European model here is really not having these two phase together, as we like to say, talking about, the different branches, kind of having them phase together, them teaming up until Saturday morning. So this is Saturday morning where we see these two phase together, and that could prompt some precipitation to start to get going across areas of the southeast. And that's not off the table with this event, to see some accumulating snowfall in areas like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, areas of Virginia, maybe areas of eastern Tennessee and Kentucky, if we get enough moisture in place and that moisture pull from the Gulf. But eventually, as this system starts to really get its grip off the coast of the United States and starts to really bomb out, as we like to call it, right? When this undergoes bombogenesis and really deepens, this trough starts to quickly move out and off the coast. And I think the lack of this trough kind of being oriented and staying put along the eastern United States and allowing for a storm to kind of take more of a south-southwest to north-northeast track is the main reason why we're going to be looking at a glancing blow for the most part here in the eastern United States. So we can see this even more on our 500 millibar, our relative vorticity, so that spin in the atmosphere, and we can kind of see this area of positive vorticity advection outlined in these blue contours here. That promotes rising motion, and that's going to be the main driver here as to why this storm actually bombs out is as this area of positive vorticity advection moves off the coast, it'll couple with that low pressure system, enhance that rising motion, and actually deepen the storm and really create a monster of a snowstorm. But it's making more of that swing as it goes across the East Coast in a west-southwest to east-northeast direction. And that's why I think by the time we actually get that trough, that shortwave trough, to be oriented in the direction that a prime nor'easter would be, it's going to be well off the coast and maybe more of an issue for the Maritimes of Canada than the northeast and mid-Atlantic of the United States. And we can kind of see that here on our just QPF, so precipitation map. This doesn't show precipitation types, but we kind of have some demarcations here of this very strong high pressure in place that's going to be reinforcing another cold shot of air in behind this. That's going to happen no matter what, folks. So be prepared to keep the winter jackets around a lot longer. But as this little piece of energy kind of flows in from the northern branch of the jet stream, and we see some moisture being pulled out of the Gulf, we get a little bit of a closed low here in Florida, and that starts to intensify off the coast. We could see a little bit of surface convergence here across areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and eventually, as this low pressure system really gets its grip together, we're looking for these areas in green for the heaviest of any potential snowfall. And right now, that seems like the very extreme East Coast, if anything. So we're looking at maybe outer banks of North Carolina, maybe Virginia Beach, and then up towards, Cape Cod and areas of extreme southeast New England, maybe even down East Maine, but really looking like more of a Maritimes of Canada nor'easter than a northeast United States and I-95 corridor nor'easter. So that's what I'm seeing right now, and that's even backed up by our ensembles, our probabilistic forecasting. Here's our dominant precipitation type over 1/100th of an inch in terms of pure liquid. And you can kind of see that starting to get supported here by our ensembles. By the time that surface low pressure forms here in the Northeast Gulf or right off the coast of Florida, not a lot of moisture to work with. Then it starts pulling in that moisture, and then we can start seeing some moderate to heavy snowfall across areas of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and even into areas, maybe the extreme East Coast, Jersey Shore, Ocean City, Maryland, far eastern Long Island, and into the Cape and down East Maine. But I really think that, if anything, this is going to be more of a Maritimes of Canada event. And I know most of my viewership is here in the United States, but I know I have a few of you in the Maritimes of Canada, so I wanted to denote that as well. So as we take a look here, this is the probability of picking up over 3 inches of snowfall. This is what I consider to be a plowable snowfall. When you get over 3 inches of snow, that's definitely at least one plow pass in your region. Could make roads slick out there. So this is really kind of the starting measure as to when we start to see at least minor to moderate impacts depending on your location. And right now, anywhere in these greens, that is over a 40% chance of picking up 3 inches of snow. Anywhere in these yellows or oranges, that's over a 70% chance. So right now, that's favoring areas of very northern South Carolina, eastern North Carolina, southeast Virginia, and then again, yes, the extreme coastline there of Maryland, Delaware, maybe the Jersey Shore gets about a 50 to 60% chance of picking up 3 inches there. Extreme far out east on Long Island into very southeast Connecticut into southern Rhode Island and the Cape Cod region of Massachusetts, maybe even down East Maine. But in terms of a significant blockbuster storm here, over 6 inches of snow, really only favoring areas very far protruding into the Atlantic Ocean. So maybe the Outer Banks of North Carolina and Cape Cod. And in terms of our foot plus snowfall, it's looking like it's an unlikely event here, at least with this event across areas of the eastern United States. So that's what I'm seeing right now from a meteorological standpoint. Doesn't seem like it's going to be too big of a deal, but again, it is Tuesday. This is mostly going to be a Saturday into Sunday event. Many things could change. If we see that trough couple up with the two branches of the jet stream earlier, we could see this start to get that more south-southwest to north-northeast flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere, that steering pattern for these storms. And if that does happen, we could see a northwesterly trend with this storm. So that's something to note here with this storm event. I hope you guys enjoyed this meteorological breakdown of this storm. I think this is a very interesting setup, and even though the results are not here, this is something that we do have to keep an eye on, at least for the next couple of days, until we can absolutely confirm that this is going out to sea and isn't going to cause any moderate to extreme impacts along the eastern United States. So stay tuned here. I'll keep you covered. Ignore all of the engagement bait going on right now across the internet, and stay tuned here where we take things a little bit more realistically in how we track these storms. So I appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you follow here for more weather updates, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace.